Sorry. I don't think
All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to the finals of the first week of the Judgment League. Two teams have risen to the top. We have Roshan's team, backed up by Laud, Ninjesta, and Ari, and some sick play from the rest of the team. And now they're going to be going against Tsatsulow's team, a team that we actually haven't got to see a whole lot of, but has been tearing it up with some familiar faces. We have Shorter Ace, the short jungle god out there. Tsatsulow, a master, used to actually be a jungler himself, actually took Shorter Ace under his wing.
Oh, yeah.
And now he is actually, a really top-level support player. Which, he was actually saying, like, hey, we had the two best support players on our team, which, believe it or not, Shorter Ace had actually followed Tsatsulow and become a support player recently as well for Dream Team. So both those players picking that up. Then we also have Panchi, the infamous Panchi, who knows if he's good, who knows if he's bad. But, he's a top-level player, so he's been picked up here. And then Jacob Hysteria, last-minute pickup by Tsatsulow, who's obviously been doing wonders for their team. And then we also have Jezzy to fill in as well. So both these teams pretty solid, and is that really a Zilean pick that's been picked out yet?
I'm wondering
if that's this. Oh, Shorter Ace going to get his Lee Sin?
No.
Is this someone pinch me? Because this is a finals. If that is going down, Shorter Ace, known for his Lee Sin play, loves to play Lee Sin. Actually, at Landfest, there was a famous bet between him and Roland, who was a foolish mortal, and said, hey, Shorter Ace, I'll let you have Lee Sin, just don't ban my Anivia or whatever. And then Shorter Ace decided to go run roughshod all over their team with Lee Sin and fly around and kick them out of every angle that could possibly exist. So now we're actually going to see that in play, and we'll see if Roshan's team can actually punish this.
Ooh, Zach.
Yeah, snuck through.
Actually, that was in that first match. Was that a top lane Zach we saw, not an actual jungle?
Yes, it was
Zach?
a top lane Zach.
Oh, okay, so I wasn't expecting the Rumble pick or the Rumble top lane, which. So, if anybody tuned into the second game, the Rumble Szechuani was fairly OP. So it looks like we're actually going to see a full game of potentially Zach top. Potentially, because we don't know if that's going to be a Zach top yet. But I wouldn't be surprised to see that Zach show up in jungle or top lane. And Panchi...
heck, even mid lane at this point.
Hey, I would rock Zach support. I think he's that strong. But we are going to see Varus again with Laud picking Varus, which he just went up against Caitlyn and did pretty well. So we'll see. I'm a little curious about this NotRoshan pick though. Zilean. Anybody want to tell me why they think Zilean's OP? Or do you
I have to believe it's like a proxy of some sort or something, because you don't just come out and pick Zilean. Zilean's usually a response pick or something. Let's hear it here. It's an Elise. There we go. So that is an Elise. That's not a Zilean. That makes a lot more sense now, and it also makes sense why Shorter Ace hovered over Elise and was like, oh wait, I can't have that, and turned away. So. Good pickup for them. Makes a lot more sense. Zilean, unless you had some magical strategy where you read your opponent's team and knew he's going to be great for the team comp, and then they saw that and still did what they did because they didn't know. I don't know where you get that level of thought process from. But
yeah, I was going to call it.
Not see.
Here's what I was going to see. I was going to see. Okay, let's say that's Zilean, and then they're like, bam, Anivia Aatrox, booyah, Team Resurrect, plus Varus. But that's not
plus
the case.
Laud, whatever Laud wants to play. Let's throw that on there.
We'll just say plus Laud. You know, he doesn't need a champion. He just shows up.
Yeah, so their team's actually coming out with a lot of initiation right now and a lot of assassination if that casting gets locked in, because with an Elise and a Cassin, those two champions that can kind of get to the back lines pretty easily and just deal out a ridiculous amount of damage very, very quickly. So it'll be interesting to see that. But again, the fun lane's going to be seeing Roshan now and Laud do work now against Tsatsulow and Panchi, who are another really stellar, top-level kind of bot lane duo. The question is, though, Tsatsulow is very great support, and supports can actually carry 80 carries in bot lane. But the question is, are they as in sync as Laud and Roshan now, and will they be able to, put some pressure on there? And will Panchi rise to the occasion, or will Panchi, be his horrible GIF version of Panchi that falls off? And looks like Science going to be locked in as well. And that's going to be another proxy pick. And
what is
Nami.
going on?
It's going to be Nami. How does... I guess, to be fair, so not everybody owns every champion, so
That's why these guys should play in Judgment League.
And Torgen God, honestly, he wasn't actually ranked last season, so he's actually probably a fairly new player, and a very talented player,
Smurf,
or a brand new Smurf, yeah, and just doesn't have enough enough champions here to be able to.
So Torgen's been playing top, right? I'm gonna go on a limb and just say that's Dyrus. You know, he couldn't play in our league under Dyrus. So.
Yeah, that'd be too good. Is Elise going to be a proxy for nothing? Is this really what's going to be? I'm not buying the Galio. I'm sorry, Jezzy. It's not happening. Kennen, I would believe.
So
it's going to be Kennen.
So we'll bounce out of this. Hopefully they'll create it. I guess no, they'll probably just invite one more player.
They just rejoin and then pick teams. I mean, they could do recreate and do blind pick, but so much work in inviting. Why? Why really? So just going to start this off, pick their champions really quick. Maybe they'll make some nice little quotes to each other. Start.
So we are really happy to be bringing you guys. This is technically the finals. This winning team will go on and be the only team that's 3-0 after this week.
Yep.
All players in this team will receive not only some crazy amount of RP, but they'll also be earning league points, and that's what makes this different than if you've heard of Judgment before, and you've seen us cast Judgment. They're all like micro tournaments. It was a single elimination. Top 4 teams get RP. The bottom 4 teams get 1 game, and that's it. So we said, you know what? We want to make this more. Like, what more can we do to the Judgment system to make it a little bit better? We said, hey, what if we ran a league? And what if we invite all the top players? Well, how do we make it a league? How do we deviate the league? And, and what more can we do? So we decided to make it a modified Swiss so that all teams are going to play 3 games. Just the winning side of the bracket keeps playing each other. The losing side of the bracket will continue to play out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take their record and award league points for how each team performed. So the team that ends up going 3-0 is going to end up with 9 league points, 3 points per win. And the team that goes 2-1 is going to have 6 points. A team that goes 1-2 is going to have 3 points. And the team that goes 0-3 is just banished from the land. I mean, they're just going to have 0 points. So what we're going to do then is teams, get changed up each week. The players are going to retain their league points. So for example, let's say Shorter Ace, let's say we say Team Tsatsulow wins. Shorter Ace is going to have 9 points. Next week, he could be on any other team. He might be back on Team Tsatsulow, but he'll be on a different team. And wherever he finishes up that week is how many more league points he's going to accrue. And he's going to maintain that accumulation of league points throughout the entirety of the league. And then once we've completed our season, the top 16 players and the top 4 captains, based on the league points accrued, are going to move on to our finals. So if that sounded complicated, I apologize, because it's not really that complicated.
Yeah, I mean, the simple thing is, players earn points, whatever game they play in, they earn 3 points per win, and those points basically carry over the course of 5 weeks, and at the end of 5 weeks, whoever has the most points, or the top half, essentially, of the league, get to move on to the finals and get some awesome prizes. So, yeah, excited to, again, the treat for us is that we're going to get to see amazing games and be able to produce, awesome content out of this, which hopefully people enjoy, and, bring a different style and something that's not out there for League of Legends that you can just normally kind of walk into and play. Most stuff is just competitive 5v5, and this is a different take on it, and still a way to get a lot of top talent together and make that happen. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Hopefully this is going to be an excellent game, because both these teams have been playing stellar, and already looking at these teams, they're actually really solid. Between both these teams, I mean, if you look at, I think Tsatsulow's team is more of the standard, just all their champions are ridiculously solid. And even have fail safes that if they fall behind are still going to be a factor, but if they get ahead, are going to be huge. Where you look at blue team, I feel like their lineup is a lot more risky, but again, they still have a lot of really powerhouse hitters, between Elise, Zach is a really strong champion, and you're never going to count out Laud and NotRoshan. And even though and Ari, played by Ninjustin, was so good last game, that I have to believe his Cassin's pretty good as well. So Gonna be a good game. And
so was Ari a ban at all, or they decided not to ban? Or they decided not to ban Ari? I'm trying to remember the original bans.
Yeah, I don't quite remember. I mean, maybe Chad can fill us in because they were watching better than we were. But I don't think Ari was a ban. I think
how dare them casters tune out while
Yeah.
they're casting. But yeah, so we're gonna hop in here. We're gonna go ahead and remove summoner spells if we haven't done so already, or at least the summoner spell blockers. And surprise, Torgan is still playing top lane. He is going to be rocking the lease. And they might mix something up here, so we don't know. I mean, these guys are high enough level players that they know all the strategies, whether it's, they're going to run 2v1s or types of invades, and we're seeing a lot of high level warding. It is still yellow Q in a sense, right? Because these guys aren't like full on arranged teams. They've never played together before as an entire team. So we could expect anything and everything to happen. Last game, we did see a level 1 first blood on Fat. They went hard in the paint in that top lane.
Landed the clutch charm.
Yeah, and then Justin landed that clutch charm. So this game, we are going to see shorter ace on his Lee Sin. So I know I'm a little excited for that, and I'm excited to see a lot of these players because I haven't seen Panchi play since we were up in Canada.
First Summoner Showdown 2.
And actually, I haven't seen a lot of these guys play in Judgment since our last Judgment, which was a long time ago.
A galaxy far, far away. But kind of looking at the team comps, I have to say that one tool that clearly Tsatsulow team is going to have that the other team doesn't is that Ken's going to have teleport. And they don't have any kind of global. They have people that can rotate really quickly like Kassadin. But overall, they don't actually have a teleport, like someone where they can actually split push, bring someone into a team fight, or gank into another lane. And that's always a tool that I feel like now in Season 3 that you have to have someone on your team to kind of have that kind of ability to either be able to just sustain split push and just have really good 1v1 matchups, or be able to, just have a teleport to just bring you around the map, or, come into a team fight if someone wants to pressure somewhere else. So gonna be kind of maybe possibly a key factor in Tsatsulow's team, or possibly in this game. We'll have to see as we go forward, and yeah, it's gonna be a good one to wrap up week 1.
Yeah, week 1. And so if you guys like the biggest question, I would think if I was a Spectre, I'd be like, Highwind, Paddo, how do I get into this? And and when are we going to see other Judgments? And so that's the thing. We're putting together this league so that we can promote. The reason we invited the top tier talent is because we think that's gonna draw the most attention. It's also going to be more of a spectacle to watch, and so that's what the Premier League is here to do. We're here to expose a lot of these top talented players, for the Pacific Northwest, or that have roots here in the Pacific Northwest. So what we want to do is we don't want it just to be these top tier talent. Like, I want to play in the Judgment League, and I'm, how do I do that? And so what we want to do is we want to use this as a vessel to move forward into bigger, greater things. So if you guys really enjoy the Judgment system and you want to play in other Judgments, whether they're like, they're tiered down for like lower tiers,
or they're just open to everybody.
or just open to everyone, then get on board, support us. Go like our Facebook page. If you haven't done so, most of you have already done so. Subscribe to our Twitch channels. Tell your friends. Tell them that they're going to be on every Tuesday, casting from 7 to 10.
Or later.
Or later.
In this case.
Just spread the word. We're gonna do a big, massive announcement, and we're gonna, get on Reddit, and we're gonna do all that once we get some of our other tools in place. But for now, word of mouth is the best thing you can do for us, and do for yourselves, because we want to run. We want to run this Premier League as best as we can, and bring it out with all the production that we can. But we also want to run hundreds of leagues. Like, I mean, we want to run as many as we can where, like, we can, also get a full-time job during the week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We just like bringing this, we don't get paid for this. We enjoy doing it. So we hope that you enjoy it as well. And thank you guys that have tuned in and supporting your players here in the Pacific Northwest. Because these guys, if you can get behind the shorter aces and the otters and the Roshans and the lots, like, they will appreciate your support. Message them in game, or add or ping them, or like their Facebook pages or their streams. Like, let them be like, hey, I saw you at Judgment last week. Like, great work. Like, that's, I don't know, if I was a player, I'd be like, that's sweet.
Because a lot of these guys are on Northwest League of Legends. They're on, they do have Facebook pages, like you said. They have streams. Like, they want fans too. These are guys out there grinding, and they're not just Diamond 1 because they want to be Diamond 1. A lot of these guys want to play on pro teams, and some of them have been to MLG Anaheim and other big tournaments, but they want to be in that spotlight and make that big time. And so the more support you give them, it also helps them as well. And now Banshee getting in the face of the demon right there, and the bubble lands onto Kennen, but I don't think they're actually going to be able to follow this one up. And just kind of going in there and poking and trading both teams. It's very early, so they can just simply blue pill back, heal up the damage, no harm, no foul. But I don't even think. Oh, they're just actually waiting, so maybe they're going to play a trap game, although they might have been seen there. This is very, very close. I don't think he actually saw. Ooh. Oh, yeah, they do see him now. Sona, #1 mobile ward NA.
Good ward there over the mid. So this doesn't look like we're going to see any sort of invade shenanigans. They did get that early ward, so they know when Lee Sin goes for that red, they'll have an idea. So whether or not Lee Sin decides to start at red, they might consider starting blue and having Lee Sin go counter jungle. I think Elise would be very difficult to counter jungle at this point. Her clear time is relatively quick, and she's kind of a strong duelist. Especially, I think Elise has the strongest level 3 gank in the game, hands down.
Ooh. Oh, this is kind of interesting. They definitely want to go in here for an invade. It looks like it's going to be delayed. Or no, maybe not. I don't know. I don't think they'd stack up here, though, if they weren't going to go in for delayed. So, yeah, it looks like they are going to go in. And Tradition just actually hop off that wall if they really need to, but no one actually hanging out here. So Zach going to be able to get this red. They didn't actually have a ward over there, so they're going to be able to steal this blue. Well, it'll be really telling which way he goes, and it looks like he is going to head up. So he's actually not going to know this is going down. It looks like we're going to see Shorter Ace get out of here scot-free with a blue buff, and that's just going to put him ahead. And that's what you need with Lee Sin. You need an early advantage here. In this game, it looks like they're going to get it. And Roshan,
a 2v1 shenanigans.
A 2v2 actually, and the bubble lands right off the bat. That is trouble. And Sona going to have to sustain that up though, with some cords.
Yeah, it looks like they were anticipating the Kassadin mid, and they said, "Hey, you know what? Easiest way to beat Kassadin, throw your AD and your support in mid." So they did get the experience lead so far because they were able to shove that wave, and then there was the rotation between Lod and Roshan back to cover the mid. And I think that was just an overall success other than that bubble hitting.
Yeah, overall just a really smart play. Just because it's like, hey, like not only do we get this, do we potentially, we're going to go in for the 2v1 mid, but they also had a potential too that they could go, support Lee Sin as he went in for that jungle invade. So just a really smart use of just like your overall strategy to go get something more out of it. And these Nami bubbles just keep landing, and this is where she's strongest. This is where like a lot of players right now are saying she's kind of broken, is in the early stage before anybody has boots. Like that bubble normally is like really hard to land because it's kind of it's like a slower projectile, even though they sped it up a little bit. But now at this stage, it's like you don't have a lot of movement, and that actually it's more consistent landing. And that's a really long stun. It got up to like 1.5 seconds, which is quite a bit of time, and it can even hit multiple targets. So definitely going to be something scary, at least in the early stages. And now we see Zach looping around on them as they push up in this lane. So if a bubble lands again, it's going to be all sorts of trouble. And Zach coming here actually has red buff as well. Wants to land a slow. The bubble just on the heels of Panchi is going to be able to net over the wall. So he is going to be safe. And Zach actually slingshots himself just right in nearby. And Shorter A's going to work. He's got some plays on hand. He's
going to come here
available? And start to clear this one out there. Actually zoning out Nami as well. They're going to be able to kill Zach. That is first blood. A little bit of a mini game involved as well, but that is the power of Shorter Ace. And I feel like Red starting out with the 2v2 mid and making it this kind of game versus just like a standard game is kind of put into their favor. I think you've got Roshan now, like that team, kind of like on their page and they're playing their game as opposed to just a standard game where I feel like Roshan now's team has shown that they pretty much succeed at.
Oh, and Panchi might have been baiting it here. Can they get the flash? Nope. Lod says out on. Ooh.
The face of danger right there, living on the edge. Man, I mean that's the sign of a player that's played this game out a lot and just realized the trades and knew that he was going to be safe throughout that. Because most players just be running for the left, like, no, I'm done. I'm around 100 health. I can back off now and stop potentially trying to kill myself.
Yeah, he didn't pop Cleanse or Flash, although Cleanse would not have helped. But a lesser man, and I'm just going to go ahead and say myself, would have flashed. I'd have been like, nope, I'm out. Then I probably would have came back to laning, got ganked. But So good plays there. We're probably gonna see a lot of action here in mid as we're starting to see this 2v2 or this 2v2 in mid lane develop. Normally when you think about 2v2s, it's like in the bot lane, you're like, oh, this is boring. If you're a jungler, you don't want to gank at bot lane. There's a million wards. like you're like, oh, I'm done with this bot lane. You guys just farm it up, and I'll be back later. But here we've already seen a gank and a counter gank and a follow-up gank here in mid lane. And
this is all sorts of trouble. The Rise ganks are already a problem, but backed up by a Lee Sin that you kind of face check there. I mean, that's just like, I mean, again, this is why you don't let Shorter Ace get Lee Sin. Like,
Ace, yeah.
I mean, like, he's played this kind of, he's talented enough to make the plays that you need to mechanically make with Lee Sin, and the other part is he's played this game out so many times with Lee Sin that we're gonna see him on his game more than you typically would from a jungler. And there he's gonna come in with the safeguard onto Sona, but he misses the Sonic Wave. Otherwise, this could be even worse for them. Power Chord's even coming in as well onto Lod, and Ward's following it up just to get some extra vision in case he could possibly follow it up. And Lod's under a lot of pressure here, and this is really the key to like taking the teeth right out of the mouth of the the wolf that is NotRoshan Now's team is hamper Lod, and if you can keep doing that and we keep seeing that that's where their focus is, then you can really come out with a pretty big advantage because you're already building a CS lead with Caitlyn, who's notoriously safe at it. Kennan's been pushing and casting all day long in the early stages like he typically would, and even Rise on top lane, able to pick up a kill, able to get some CS. Tsatsulow's team really taking a big control of this game in the early stages of the game, and as we see with a lot of these these teams, and especially at this high level, it's like once you get an advantage, these teams know how to close it out and snowball it. So it's going to be a tough game now from NotRoshan. Now we're going to have to see where they're going to decide to make a play, and I think we're going to be looking towards Zach to possibly come in here and make something happen.
Oh,
Elise comes out the backside, and this is one of those moves where it's like, yeah, it was fancy, but that Sonic Wave just
max
took
range
all the breath out of you, and that's just one of those like, yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah, Torian not having a great game here on Elise. Just Lee Sin's all over the map.
Yeah, he's everywhere you don't want him to be.
That's why I hate Lee Sin.
Yeah,
but Shorter Ace definitely making it work here. Was technically the first overall pick in the draft.
Yes.
Tsatsulow had the first pick in the draft. He also had it with his captain pick, which was Jacob Hysteria. So he got to take the first pick, and so far that paying off dividends. Shorter Ace making plays here. He's been in 3 of the 3 kills thus far, taking 2 of them. So we should see where he, where he's going to take that in his build here shortly. It looks like he's going to go right into the Elder Lizard, and then is he going to go tanky? Is he going to go maybe more shenanigy? Maybe pick up a Sightstone? I don't know. He'd probably go tanky. Probably pick up an Aegis. I don't expect to see many Lee Sins go to go just pure damage. I don't think it works out that well in the end.
Yeah, it only really works out if you have if you're really tanking with elite, and usually only if you're in the like a mid lane or a solo laner where you can just really like take off, and you also have the level advantage as well. Typically, Lee Sin, he's gonna probably play safer. And again, like, he's played this game out, and he knows that, like, if you just try to go full carry damage Lee Sin, eventually at some point you fall off.
Oh, we're gonna see another counter gank here in mid.
No. Yeah, we'll see. At least we'll see Zach sort of getting ready. Actually has the pink ward advantage. Comes in on this one off the back end, but we already see Shorter Ace already in the fight, and Lot again just put at low health, getting backed off, and we see 72 to 55. That gulf that's starting to build up here between Caitlyn and Lot is just starting to get bigger and bigger, on top of the fact that Caitlyn also has that assist, and now they're going to pick up a dragon off this. This game has been brilliantly executed and masterminded by Tsatsulow if he's game calling this one.
He is.
And this is just like, I mean, I have to believe, like, why right now when he's playing this, he's like giggling to himself. The fact, because I know, like, him and, Tsatsulow and Roshan now, at one point, Roshan now was on their team.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Roshan now is a very instinctive player and has some really, especially in the level 1 phase, has some really good instincts. But at some point, these two players know each other, and they kind of have, like, slight rivalry there as they parted ways. So you have to know that Tsatsulow is, like, definitely loving this kind of gamesmanship that's going on between both of them.
And it's good
he's now getting the better hand.
And it's good to see that our captains that are support players, and plus their captains have come in here. We saw the last match. The other captain was maining support with GGI, so It's just interesting. I expect to see this as we move forward in the league. I know Tsatsulow, his original captain pick was Wiz Fujin. For those that don't know, Wiz Fujin got picked up to play with Team Summon. And so he'll be playing in the NCS. So if you're not tuning in to us each Tuesday, Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, you can go ahead and I'm done selling them. Tune in to us instead.
Yeah, tune in to us. Who cares about that? Yeah.
No, but yeah, so Wiz Fujin was top talented AD player, the duo Q of Tsatsulow. So it looks like Tsatsulow ended up picking up Jacob Hysteria, his first pick, shorter ace, and so far they're doing pretty well. And it looks like Panchi, who actually ended up going... was he last pick of that round?
He was really down there. Like people there was like a GIF circulating about him as playing Draven. He was being terrible and dogging on some people. And so Rise might get taken out here a little bit. No, it looks like he's going to be pretty safe on the turret. Actually, no, Elise is going to be able to repel though.
Zach.
Yeah, that's a lot of good dive potential. And there's no shorter ace now there. Otherwise, that would have been an easy double kill for him probably. Would have kicked them both in the face at the same time.
It looks like Kinnon's going to take this turret here shortly. He's got to be a little bit careful. Slice and Maelstrom has just come up, but doesn't have a whole lot of kill potential because he's got teleport for the big knight. That being said, he could have he couldn't have teleported top Cassidon and stuff that in a heartbeat. So it'll be interesting to see when they actually make use of that teleport. Right now, it's just been a dead summoner spell.
Yeah, I think maybe later on, maybe it'll be like kind of a split pushing thing for him. But yeah, as you even saw earlier on in their trade when they fought underneath turret and he actually did use Slicing Maelstrom, even though Cassidon got fully caught in that, he still has a good damage spike as he's starting to work into as he gets items. And now that he doesn't really have any AP yet, but as soon as he gets that AP, those trades, he was still even at that point, and they've both been kind of just building up tanky at this point, but he really just wants that Rod of Ages, and then they can make something happen. Now they have the 3-man push onto this mid-turret, just trying to take it down. No other protection here. Sonic Wave goes in, misses, but they are able to DDR command this one out and possibly get this one out. Ace in the hole. Count it, and now Laud left at low health, alone underneath his turret, waiting for Zach and Elise to slowly run up here. And now they actually have a pink ward covering their way towards bottom lane, and they might go into Cassidon, who's kind of pushing out here and being kind of taunted by Jezzy.
And yeah, Ninjustin, he knows that he probably has some kill potential here on Kennen.
Oh, there's a Slicing Maelstrom. He's not going to get out of this one unless he got some serious moves. Oh, the Sonic Wave misses. Tower going to go down. Still worth it. Rise, again, Rise is one of those champions, too, where it's like, if he just gets to his core items, he's just like a handful to deal with. He almost has his Rod of Ages. He already has his tier. As soon as he finished Rod of Ages, he's basically like a Glacial Shroud away from just being like, yeah, whatever, I just roll in and roll my face on your team, and I'm Rise for the rest of the game. I'm hard to deal with. Yeah,
he might end up going in with a Banshee's Veil, but I'm not sure at this point, since it looks like they're running quad AP.
Yeah, Banshee's Veil are pretty good. I think it's, in general, a lot of people have found it's a weaker item nowadays, and just damage-wise, you still get the health and you still get the damage at Rod of Ages. They already built the blasting one, so...
No, after Rod of Ages.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he could go that way, too, as well.
But, at least that's what my Triumphant Rise would build. No,
well, my Triumphant Rise, the thing is, too, is, also the CDR, just in general, from Shroud actually ends up really spiking his damage output, because you can get out a lot more spells in a shorter period of time. So that's usually why that happens. But yeah, like you said, they have a lot of AP damage, so it would actually make sense to go Banshee's Veil instead of go that. Alternatively, we also might see him go Visage, which is actually a popular choice on Rises too, as well, because you get a little bit of MR, and again, it's kind of
spell vamp from his ult.
Yep. So that's another good option we just might see him roll into after he's finished up here.
So it looks like they decided to give Elise the blue buff instead of possibly Cassidon. Now that these outer turrets have been taken for the red team, I'm curious to see where they're going to go. Are they going to try and group up? Maybe 5-man Dota this?
Oh, well, they're going to fight this one. Shorter Ace and crew versus Elise. And they're like, we don't know if we really want to fight this one out. Nice ward over the wall. Lands it. Oh, that's all sorts of trouble. Elise now going to have to possibly repel out this one. But no, quick burst damage onto Lee Sin. The Slicing Maelstrom repels down. Should be able to clean up the rest of red team. Coming in from the corner. Ace of the hole flies through. Actually blocked by Zach right there. Nicely done. Tidal Wave coming through to protect him on the way out. Shouldn't have his passive up yet, but is going to be able to get out clean.
So plays here, trading 1 for 1, or one for 1.11.
Yeah.
Zach and Justin barely get out, and Shorter Ace is going to die there. Trying to figure out what he did go for that sight stone, so a little more. He went for the outer lizard for the early DPS and the sight stone for just kind of looks like he's gonna run right into.
He went to the sight stone for the insect plays. Let's be honest. Like, everybody now he's like, I gotta have free wards so I could be Lee Sin. So yeah.
Yeah, he was watching a lot of Bob Quinn play, and that's kind of like his entire build is like mobility boots and and a sight stone.
And a sight stone.
That's it.
That's all you need, really.
He doesn't build any damage.
A ruby sight stone's gonna have more wards, but beyond that, I mean, just build done. Count it.
But Dragon Control here definitely in favor of the red team. This is gonna be their second one of the game, and they're gonna extend to a quick 5, almost 6K gold lead.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much 6K gold lead, 16 minutes in. And that's just like really just strong objective control too, because it's not even. I mean, they have some kills in there too, but it's really a lot of it too. Just like they farmed and won out most of their lanes, especially like with the Kennen Cassidy matchup in bot lane that they ended up getting, coming way ahead on with the pushing. Top lanes were going well for them, and in the mid lane, it's kind of even out in CS, but they're able to get some kills on the map and feed them that way. But really, just like the 2 dragons, they've now taken every outer turret. And they've only given up the top turret on their own end, so well played by Red Team so far.
Yeah, I mean, they've successfully masterminded this early game, right? I mean, I'm just so excited, and like, I don't know if this is something that happened in the first and second game just naturally, or if this is something they've built up over the first and second game. They're like, all right,
a nice catch on the Kennen. He actually uses ult defensively, knowing that they're going to come in on him. Sona actually using ult to disengage on this, and Blue Team now really turns around some great catches. That's 2, but a game over for Sona, and oh man. This is Panchi just trying to keep his distance. Actually, some really nice mechanical play there, just keeping good distance and getting some auto attacks. But now Blue Team's swinging back with a really nice catch there. And again, the other thing that I wanted to point out.
Panchi.
Oh my gosh, Zac coming in. Get dunked by the Zac. And now Shorter Ace in a lot of trouble. And Rise, though. Rise can actually deal with this a little bit here in the meantime. And Shorter Ace is kind of running on that situation, too, where he had that early lead. But now, jumping into that many people, he's not that far ahead. And lucky for them, they actually do have Rise to back this up. Still tanky, still awesome, and bottom turret should be next to fall. Actually, this is a pretty big wave. And with the leads here and the spiralings and the attack speed bucks.
So 90 seconds ago, it was 2-5, and there was this massive 5K gold lead. Fast forward 90 seconds, and if they get, never mind. Looks like Kennen might want to scare. He doesn't have his ult. I think they actually have enough kill potential here. Honestly, Slicing Maelstrom not up for at least 10 seconds. But if they were able to pick up that turret, they would have brought that gold lead down in half, if not more. But a good quick turn of events. 3 kills and the turret came away scot clean. Didn't give up any revenge turrets.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just looking for those moments that you can use catch your team the enemy team out of position. And they recognized it really quick, made the call, and executed very, very well. And, it could have been better, like they could have took bottom turret as well, but they still got tons of damage out. They can come back for that whenever they want. Maybe it's even they just push up a creep wave, and the creep wave can finish it off. So, really nice executed, and, both these teams just kind of looking for their moments. And, whenever one of them makes a mistake and is out of position, they're going in and they're capitalizing. And that's the kind of game you want to see at this level, and especially for the finals game. And both teams still have a lot of potential here in this game to make some big plays. And wait to see what it's going to be now. It looks like Red actually shifting a lot of focus onto this top lane, which Rise is actually pushing up for. There's not a lot of wards in this top jungle, so even though they saw them curve up there, they know they're there. It's going to be very dangerous for them to transfer over anywhere within that side of the jungle. So a lot of them being smart, heading along towards the bottom side near their base. We see Casson actually splitting out towards the mid lane. Interesting enough that he's actually that far away from his team at this point. But if they actually have enough clearing power here, they might be able to stall this one out. But I think they might actually have some action here as we see Kennen sneak around the backside. That ward, I think, might have just missed him, but they're going to see him now.
Yeah, I think they actually have a pretty strong fight here. Once Zac goes in with his ult, there's the Nami tidal wave. It's going to disrupt quite a bit. And, there's Zac.
Yeah,
delayed Let's Bounce. But the Cassin is going to come in and clean up, and Justin coming with the cleanup. Kennen going down without doing much with his Slicing Maelstrom.
Well, I mean, the thing is like he doesn't have like an hourglass or anything to go in there and tank damage. So, and if it's just him, they really, really just quickly dealt with it. They just dealt with him really, really quickly. Oh wow,
good
catch, but gonna get punished right back. And then Justin ruthless now with Casson. Again, that uptick of damage once he starts to get that AP. All he has is that Rod of Ages and then followed up with a Blasting Wand, and now he's just like an absolute murderer and quickly just rotated over. They stalled out long enough, and I think, even Kennen kind of made a mistake there where they actually had Elise caught early on, and Shorter Ace going to have to ward over the wall, but not going to be able to get away. But the kick actually possibly does it, but nope, not going to happen. He's not going to be able to win this one out, although he tried really, really hard. And there's too much burst damage there. Wouldn't even been backed up, but nice effort by Shorter Ace to try to make something out of it, try to make a play, and actually did put that out really, really well. Just Casson just way too good at pursuing.
Is Casson.
Yeah. And now he's going to have to make some serious plays here, and Ken just not actually committing to this one because knows there's probably some backup there. But I think he actually could have probably capitalized, but again, it would have been really heavily reliant on him landing some skill shots.
So then Justin found himself down quite a bit early in CS to Kennen. As we can see, he's about 70 CS behind. That being said, he's ripped off 5 straight kills, which is worth about 100 CS.
That's all
so definitely in this game.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a pretty good way to get in your game is get a bunch of kills, and we see that actually a lot of times in team fights where too, like you'll even keep someone down the laning phase, and then like you'll just have a really quick, you'll see a lot with Vayne too, especially as a champion, where like you kind of keep her down the early laning phase, and then you just have a team fight around Dragon, and she picks up 3 kills in that team fight, and all of a sudden the next thing you know she's like a terror, and like all the work you put into putting her down the laning phase is kind of all for naught. So not quite that scenario, but still like 5 kills, definitely the breadwinner for the blue team at this point. And you saw it right there as he just kind of came in and just like blew up people and was very, very just like strong and just pursuing Short Ace in the end too as well. So yeah, blue team fighting back here. They're preparing up for Dragon. They've pulled ahead in kills just overall, not in gold, but with this Dragon, it's going to get them even closer. Bottom turret, again, low-hanging fruit for them as well. So, after those 2 objectives, they're able to seal them, which it looks like Dragon's going to be easy one for them as they just pressure out Kennen. Team fight possibly coming in here, and Sona's going to go in, but only hits 1 with their crescendo, and Kennen actually gets a very nice ult, able to get pretty far back in the enemy lines, but going to fall for his team in the meantime. Law actually keeping some pretty good distance here, trying to get in there, but Rise just being that tanky beast, but he's the only one left now, and just really great focus from blue team, and that's kind of what's winning them out this team fights now. So a Dragon, they come up 3 for 1 on top of that, and with a few just kind of execution errors in that team fight, Red just kind of charging in there and not making it happen. I mean, that crescendo only hitting 1 person, and part of that also, not necessarily all Sona, but also blue team just really spreading really, really well right when Sona kind of pulled in there, and they even made a good move with Nami's bubble that they knew like she's either going to get picked up and die, or she's going to walk forward and try to crescendo us. Let's just spread out, dodge it, and then just clean her up afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say it's fatigue, after 2.5 games.
After a long, grueling draft. No.
So, I mean, quite a turn of events. We are now dead even in gold, give or take 400.
The way it should be in week 1 of the finals. I mean, this is what I want to see. And 2 teams, both on an even footing and making plays. And right now, blue, the early game was all Team Tsatsulow, and now it's as we get farther along in the game, it's turning into all Roshan now. Making the big plays and taking the objective. So we'll see if anybody can now.
Maybe surprise attack, but there's a Zac.
They need a little bit more than that. Actually, Tidal Wave actually just whiffing there, so going to be protected by that. Just kind of protect themselves, I guess. Maybe they thought there were more champions following up, so just a use of the ult to protect themselves. And
that's a pretty good it's a pretty good trade for these guys. Tidal Wave, quite a bit of a long cooldown, to my knowledge, which was one of the reasons why Nami wasn't. Somewhat. Oh, Tsatsulow also has to flash the prison. It's a good flash because she was toast otherwise. Looks like Lod picking up red, but Jezzy's going to come in here on Lod, and I don't know if this is...
Ace of the hole! Well timed. Again, Panchi always just kind of has an eye out, at times to get those ace in the holes in. And now
the red team storming in here. They're making plays. They've caught 2 players somewhat out. They've forced the Tidal Wave to get burnt. They picked up Lod, which is honestly the key to success.
Yeah, and I have to believe oh gosh, look at that burst. But I have to believe that that was just a pure game sense play where they were like, hey, we're up top. We see these ex champions. Red is probably up around this time. I bet you Lod's down there picking up his red buff, and thinking he's safe, and they didn't have a lot of wards there, and Kennen was able to sneak down there, and backed up by Panchi, they were able to pick them off, and now Kennen trying to go in for more here, and we see huge burst damage come out, but he's caught, the Caston's caught in the crescendo, Rift walks out, but Elise again in those back lines like he should, as she should be, along with Zach just kind of tanking up some damage. They're waiting to hopefully get in some more support here, and here is Laud taken down, false sense of security, going to be able to easily clean up Jacob Hysteria now that he's been able to be put low and by blue team, and blow for blow, this is how this game's going, but that haymaker I think was a little bit stronger than what Red put out earlier.
Yeah, they definitely stayed. Ooh, he should be able to fight this.
Oh no, son, no, you didn't. I think he thought he was gonna get it, and now he just has to land a Sonic Wave. Bob and weave. He has the better movement speed though, and he's able to get it. Outplayed, but unfortunately, it's going to be at the cost of a turret in mid lane, and it's going to be a base turret, and that's going to be a rough one to lose.
Yeah, if we're looking at Kennen's build, it doesn't look like he's built a Zhonya's at all. Didn't go for Zhonya's. I don't play Kennen, but I always see them with a Zhonya. So, I mean, it could be that he's, the other enemy team doesn't have any physical damage, and so maybe he's just more concerned about that the Negatron cloak that was built into the Abyssal Scepter was the better play. It looks like he's going to go kind of a standard like top lane build where he's going to go for the Abyssal Scepter into maybe a Rylai's, and it looks like a Baron attempt going down here. They've got the damage. The question is, though, can they deal with the Zac and...
Can they deal with the harass?
Yeah.
And they're very much set up in the Baron pit to possibly get picked off here, but they're going to pick up Zac for this one, so they kind of got
smite.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually very smart. They baited it, sort of, and Zac just kind of didn't have vision, and so he went in way too early, thought it was low, and they just kind of didn't deal damage to it. And the question is, though, will they be able to get out of this one, though? Oh, that stun was clutch, and now we actually see Rise going to get tracked down, though, but a safeguard from Lee Sin there actually throws a Sonic Wave over into Golem, so he actually has an out here. And Laud, but Laud's been put way too low here. He needs to be able to escape out of this. They're not paying attention to him. Instead, they're focusing on Roshan, who's going to be able to flash over the wall. Now the bubble coming in as well. Stun
interrupts
coming
the
in
teleport.
as well. And we also have Spider as well, but Crescendo actually used on to God, and God. Yeah, no more outs left. So Red actually looked like they were in a little bit trouble there, but I think that the fight got so spread out and they were able to put Laud low that they kind of diffused a lot of the damage and were able to come out okay on that one.
Yeah, that was interesting. Jesse was like, okay, I'm going to teleport bot. I'm finally going to use teleport this game. I'm going to save this turret. Nope. Teleport stuff.
Really, I would have rather, honestly, the way this game has worked out, I would have rather seen teleport on Rise even in this game. Because I feel like just even in general, he's just been like a better champion that would have been able to have it utilized and come in with just like a straight up snare. But instead, yeah, I mean, either way though, just like I felt like teleport was going to be a factor in this game, but they haven't really used it at all.
Yeah, and I think it was more of an anticipation that he was going to be in a 2v1.
Yeah.
Matchup. So because originally he went bot lane, they were setting up for a 2v1. So in that case, they were like, okay, we want to have the extra teleport. If in case you get dove, you need to get back to lane. You don't want to lose that too much farm. In this case, though, the blue team countered with a 2v2 in mid, and so he just basically said, okay, I'll take a 1v1 risk acid in it.
Yeah, push him in all day long.
Of course,
it worked out early, but now it's not working out as Justin now is only gotten one kill. He's died a few times, but he's still doing his job right now. And with that Rabadon's death cap to back up everything, a lot of AP damage. And now they're actually going to pick up a dragon. This is going to put them even closer. And this game just neck and neck. And really, it's just all been, just basically position and catches. But Red Team, with the upper hand with that Baron, will they be able to give up this Kennen, though, who's been stunned and silenced for a lot of this? It looks like he is going to be safe getting outside of this fight. And now Zac in the middle of it, trying to less bounce, trying to make something happen. But the sustain from that Baron buff just carrying him through. And Rye is just the beast that he is. I mean, they're putting some damage there, but he's able to take so much of it. And a pause comes in.
Clutch pause.
Unfortunately.
Clutch pause.
Oh, man, there's been times where I've been in team fights and I'd be like, hold on, select pause. Let's go over this, guys.
All right. So let's take stock of the situation. This Kennen is nearly dead. I actually thought Justin was going to pick up Kennen because Kennen, I'm not sure if he did the flash that or if he was just able to. No,
he went up and around. He actually got out of the team fight, but. Yeah, they weren't able to really pursue. Came back in, put on some damage onto Jacob Hysteria, bounced back out. Nami's actually split out right. rest of the team's rolling in together. Yeah, kind of. It's looking here like a lot of their teams at pretty low health, and actually now we are back into the game. Sonic Wave misses, otherwise they probably could have had Pursuit here. And yeah, so they're just going to keep trying to push this one out here. They do actually have a wave coming in for them as well, so if they get a lot of backs here off of that team fight, that'll actually be huge for them. They should be able to take out this base turret.
I completely agree. They have got everything set up in their favor for a free base turret. The fact that the sustain that they're getting from Baron right now has paid off tremendously, as that last fight displayed.
Yeah.
And I think right now they're going to be happy with that base turret. I think they learned a lesson last time when they were like, "Sweet, we just ninja ganked Lod, we got this free turret," and then they stayed a little too long. I think now they're like, "Okay, learned our lesson. We're going to back up. We're going to spend some of that gold." And Panchi, has just kind of been a farming machine, sitting up there with 240 CS, 4 kills.
Yeah. I also feel like we've seen that mistake every game, right? Like I think every game we've seen a team like get a pick off, get a base turret, and then hang around too long, and then all of a sudden get wiped. Like, I mean, sometimes it's it's overconfidence, and sometimes just bad timing. They got a lot of members of blue team that spread out, and now they're blue pilling, so they're gonna get another inhibitor off of this. The blue team just kind of scattered here and not making the correct plays, although they are going to initiate here. So will they be able to get a big fight out of this? Kennen does have Slicing Maelstrom up, so they will be able to come in and engage on this one. And they goes in and kicks out Laud into the jaws of the monster. And oh my god, that is a play and a half. Shorter ace. Making plays right there. Laud, the next thing he knew, was just flying in the air and dying. And yeah, huge pick off for them. They take the inhibitor, they get what they want. Now they're heading out. Clear out some wards too while they're at it. Why not? They got the oracles onto Tsatsulow and just going to play a little bit of Minesweeper there, although apparently not that ward. That ward's going to live. Jacob's like, "Hey, what about this ward?" It's like, "No, leave it. That's the one I want up."
That's the one we're going to bait later.
Yeah, exactly. Let them have it.
So this just in, the other match on stream 3 has completed, and it looks like winning team was Griffle and GG Ice. Hey,
so congratulations to them. They'll basically essentially be taking down 3rd place for this week 1. So props to them. Earn their team 6 points. So big plays there. For either of these teams that are in this game right now, both of them are going to get 6 points. But getting 9 points and getting a 3-win league gives you a lot of leeway as a player or captain for your performance in the coming weeks. And I mean, it's a really, really big if you can actually take one of the weeks, points wise, swing wise. So gonna be big plays, and kind of interesting. What's gonna also be too is we're gonna see who didn't fare as well this tournament, and who is gonna be that team that actually goes 0-3 eventually, and what's their journey gonna be like? Those players and that captain trying to come back in consecutive weeks. And there could be some good stories. Again, the fun of it is going to be, seeing those comeback stories of the people that are on the edge of making it into the finals and that last week. I mean, there's going to be some serious, awesome storylines, and that's what I'm kind of excited about too. But for right now, it's either one of these teams going to get something big, and it looks like Ken's going to kind of bait him in here again. Would be really nice if he had an hourglass, so you could just hourglass through all that with his ult. And then have the rest of his team come in, but instead...
Or have a team follow up.
Taking in a lot of damage here. Still alive, though, even though we do see Zach in the back lines. And look at Rise. Look at this Rise. He's 1v5 tanking. The rest of his team's running like little girls. Or is dead, I guess, at this point. But, just able to kind of sit in the pocket and throw out damage. But
this
now,
is huge.
Yeah.
Kayla went down first in that fight. I'm not quite sure what picked her off. I don't know if it was just the combination of Zach saying, "Hey, look, I'm going to get in this fight. You can't stop me." And then in that time of let's bounce that they were able to put enough damage on Caitlyn. She certainly got melted really quickly. And I think everybody got a piece of it. Definitely a little bit of miscommunication there. The fact that Kennen's ult was down. I mean, he set it up nicely. They said, "Okay, they've engaged on me. I've got my ult. This would be the time to fight." And the team was just too many team O's away to actually make it.
Well, I mean, but part of it's on both teams, right? Again, it's these players haven't really played with each other. Ken's in a position he's thinking his team's somewhere else, and both teams are kind of out of sync. And then just people aren't in position to capitalize on whatever he's doing, and again, just kind of just poor decisions, and then again, it looks like he might get picked off again, although he's almost leading them into a shorter ace, who actually takes some Baron aggro there as he comes in, and now they're actually working on Baron again.
This is not a good idea.
This is something, I'll tell you that much, and both teams are really just, still neck and neck, don't want to actually give any ground here, although they do actually have pretty much everything up for both teams at this point, so they can just engage and have another team fight whatever they want. But I feel like this team comp that Roshan now has, it's like if they're able to kind of like bait out the Kennen ult or like some of the meat of the comp of Tsatsulow's team, it's like their ability just like to get to back lines and blow people up is so effective that especially without Kennen ult, because that's pretty protective. It's like just go in there and just blow people up and scatter the red team really, really quickly, or take people down so fast that it doesn't matter that they have stuff to try to follow up with, because there's no damage left to really make that play. So we'll see actually how this Baron dance goes. Pretty typical from two teams that are actually at the neck and neck at this stage of the game and just trying to juggle for position. There's no real big. Red team actually has top lane that will be pushing, red lane that is actually kind of pushing, but nothing they actually really have to send anybody down for. So at this point, I would almost think like this is the time too where
this bait. The problem is there's just that sneaky ward, that one.
Actually went in and checked it out, but needs to not get caught by a bubble, and there it is. He knows better and actually gets some help from Caitlyn to make sure that it doesn't go down. And Zach just like sitting here for the perfect spot. And it looks like Elise is kind of trying to get this one off. Needs to turn the spider form and repel right away, but she's not able to do it. Zach goes in by herself. Tidal Wave comes through, catches all the members of the red team, and now Laud has that attack speed bonus from being able to take out people. Has to flash out right away, though, because he's not able to sit in the pocket and take out damage. Rise trying to follow us up. Sona the only one left, though.
Ace in the hole, Panchi.
He's been, sometimes a lot, the comment, oh no, great bubble by Roshan now being able to protect himself. But I have to say, like, I've never seen someone, just kind of like plan out their ace in the holes as well as Panchi's done this tournament. Like, there's been a lot of times where it's just like coordinating with his team and then finding the right spots to use that ability. I haven't seen anybody more clutch in a long while actually playing on Caitlyn. So, props to him and this game and making plays happen.
Yeah, no, they actually, it was interesting how they split, and the biggest difference between this fight and the previous fight was that Panchi stayed alive. So I don't know, they had a really good ult from Sona to begin that fight. Actually hit 3 members. Elise died instantly, and then I think Kennen was soon to follow.
Yeah, the biggest mistake too was like Elise walked in, but she walked in like her human form versus like her spider form, and if you're gonna like face check or the enemy team's kind of there, which they did know, it's like you better be in spider form so they can try to repel as fast as possible to eat some of those cooldowns or be able to get out. Instead, she didn't even have time to turn into spider form and basically just like kind of like threw herself away. Yes, she technically ate cooldowns, I guess, in a sense, but like that's not what you want to lead off a fight. You want that assassin in the back lines being able to kill a Panchi.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I think we're gonna see Lee Sin take more of a peel role. In that last fight, he just kind of was like, well, I was there when Elise died, and then I died. And so we'll see. Some bubble action.
A lot of stuns coming out, but even though the stuns landed, wouldn't really be able to follow it on Tsatsulow. So pretty safe at this point, although blue team now starting to hang around here and look for their chance to get in. Casson actually with an hourglass as well, so it's going to make him a little bit more tanky in these next team fights. And overall, both teams with bulwarks, they're pretty much set up too for another big engagement. Just are they, is blue team able to get in there and execute? And wow, lots of burst damage right off the bat. Kennen's ult is actually pretty ineffective now. He gets it far out, tries to flash in to get some more out of it. But now we have Rise again, just getting deep in there and not able to pick anything off. Caitlyn ace in the hole again. It gets repelled and dodged that way. Nicely timed and planned. And now Kennen in a lot of trouble. It looks like he's not going to be able to get this one. Ace in the hole just to make sure he doesn't actually take that third charge and get stunned. Nicely played by Justin. Heads up play. Same goes for Elise, being able to basically, ace in the hole's on me. I'll repel now. Cancel it. They get 4 for 0. And now, they can actually put some serious pressure on them. Yeah, they're only going to have Sona come up. Sona's not scary. And so it's going to be Lee Sin and Sona versus the world right now as they try to not lose this game. And now we see Lock of the Iron Solari popped here to go in here and try to get some extra damage on there. It looks like Shorter A is going to go in, try to make something happen, but a really quick focus of 5 members, going to be able to take him down. Now it's Sona, no one else to help her. This looks like it's going to be the game, and it looks like Roshan now is going to come back into this one after getting put down by that strong early game and be able to take the first week of Judgment, our first champions crowned right here.
Fantastic match. I mean, and they were down the entire way, right? And then just at the very end, they won that critical team fight. Moved. I mean, hey, we were looking for our first sort of kind of come from behind, and that was it.
Yeah, I mean,
even
really
though that game was kind of even.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, like really solid play from both teams, and that was kind of the culmination of what we wanted too. I mean, we saw some early games where some teams had some advantages, made some big plays, but right there was just like a perfect game of two teams battling back and forth with two really good team comps, and in the end, it looks like Roshan now just kind of made won out that rock paper scissors in the end game, and I mean, really, really, really nicely played by both teams, and. Yeah, I'm excited for what week 2 is going to be like. But until week 2, we're actually going to be up in Vancouver this weekend.
Yeah.
The 12th to the 14th. So if you are in the BC area, come out to Vancouver. It's going to be at the NCIX warehouse in Richmond, I believe. So come out there. Find us. We're going to be there with our crew and run around. We're also going to be running a live judgment there as well. Yeah. So definitely come out and check that out.
Spectator passes are free. You don't need you don't have to pay anything to come watch. Come say hi. If you're in the league, great. If you're not in the league, come say hi to us. We're gonna have our entire crew up there. Lots of different casters. Should be a lot of fun. Massive league tournament. Some there were between 16 plus teams.
Yeah, it's like 18 teams I think now is what they finally decided on, which is huge.
18 team tournament. We're gonna, like you said, another judgment. So Vancouver's gonna be huge. We're gonna be doing a lot of player interviews, taking some photos.
Yeah.
So we look forward to that. But then we'll be back next Tuesday for week 2 once we clean up a little bit.
Yeah. We'll be back for week 2, and we'll also probably have some really cool content for you. So excited about that too as well. So stay tuned. And again, thanks for supporting us, guys. Go like our our Facebook, our YouTube, stuff like that. Facebook.com/Raiseyourweaponmedia, YouTube.com/Raiseyourweaponmedia, all the good places. And hopefully I'll have an overlay for you soon, so I'll make it easier for you guys in the future. But yeah, I'm Paddo. With me is Highwind, and yeah, we're out. Week 1 in the books.
In the books.
Oh, also, one last thing. Thanks to everybody that helped us in the background, too.
Oh, yeah.
Gabriel Lamb, X-Sky King, TK Rain, Saffron, Sanctified even came in and was helping us out. Admitting games. Also, our casters, the Pimp Imp, and I'm Thorob, or Thorbo. Yeah, I'm Thorbo. Yeah. That guy, definitely a great new caster kind of that we met into that was really interested and stepped up and casted on our second stream, RYW Media 3. So definitely thanks to all those people that helped us make this happen. And also Battlefy, the guys have been helping us get it set up this new Swiss system. Really hard to do without those guys. So yeah, and if you're interested in helping us out, message Highwind or myself on Northwest League of Legends or anywhere where you can find us and get involved because we love to have you and we love to make this thing as big as possible. So thank you guys, and that's actually it, I think.
Yeah, no.
All right, cool. So have a good night, guys, and we'll catch you next Tuesday.
Peace out.